Olá galera, hoje vamos fazer brigadeiro. Hello everyone, today we're going to make brigadeiros, which are just Brazilian fudge balls, and I wanted to make this for my 200k Q&A special because it's not for any deep reason, it's just really easy to make. Okay, there's like 3 ingredients, I can't possibly fuck this up. By the way, I have a very small kitchen, so this is it! So here are the 3 ingredients. I have condensed milk, chocolate sprinkles that I'm actually kind of out of, but ignore that. I'll let future Gabby worry about that. And Hershey cocoa powder. And butter, I guess. Technically, it's 4 ingredients. Sorry. Okay, so fuck. The kitchen is so small. Okay, the first thing we have to do is put butter in the pan. And I'll do this while answering the first question. What are your top 3 favorite cheeses? Butter.
Butter dough.
And we're gonna let that melt. My top 3 favorite cheeses are this really expensive Parmesan cheese. It's like $7 and I go through it so fast because it's so delicious. So Parmesan, probably your classic cheddar. Okay, you don't need to see butter melting. Look at my face. Look at my fucking face. And the last one, I feel like you can't go wrong with mozzarella. Okay, I'm a simple girl. What was your favorite cartoon growing up? I watched a lot of shit growing up. If we're not counting anime, because I used to watch Inuyasha on Adult Swim all the time, and I know a lot of you can relate. Who can relate? My favorite cartoon is probably Teen Titans. If not Teen Titans, if we're going like even younger, I loved the Powerpuff Girls so much. Okay, so now the butter is melted, so now we're gonna add the condensed milk. Just throw the whole thing in there. Also, I've put this on medium heat. So now the last thing you want to do before we start stirring is to add 3 spoons of cocoa powder. 1, 2, 3. Now we can start stirring on medium heat. It's gonna caramelize. What are some recommendations on getting started? That's a great question. Necessary equipment, editing software, etc. Especially when you are working with a small budget. So that was me also. So welcome to the club. I kind of got lucky because I had some of the stuff already from being a freelancer and doing music. So I already had my microphone and I did already have a camera. But I always say that, you know, like even though all these YouTubers are like, oh, the equipment doesn't matter, and then you see them with a bunch of expensive shit, at least we're getting started. It really doesn't matter that much. What matters is the quality of the content. So like my favorite example is Kunken Dassner. His microphone is his phone, people. If he can use his phone as a microphone, and I think he has a camera, that's all you need. I think what matters the most is editing. I think some people overestimate the importance of equipment when the actual first number 1 thing to worry about is the quality of the content, is the editing. The editing is the most important. If you don't have money for a camera, what I would advise you to do, try your phone. Our phones can film in like 4K these days. If you set your phone to 1080p, like 30 frames per second, you don't need 60 FPS, I promise, then your videos will come out looking really good. There's also mics like these. I think it was around like $50. So if you use your phone and then plug this right into your phone, which it does, it has a cable that's meant for like phone jacks. Just kidding, you might need a dongle now. I don't know how that's gonna work, but you can definitely get away with a smaller budget these days. For editing software, I have known YouTubers who have been getting away with just iMovie. Like seriously. Sometimes the 2 tracks is all you need to get going. If you're learning how to edit anyway, you will probably do want to start out small and just edit with like 1 to 2 video tracks so you actually get the hang of it. The 1 to 2 video tracks being you, and then also the video of like what you're reacting to, or if you're talking about something and you want to overlay it on screen. So that's free, but also if you're a student or know someone who is, don't tell them that I said that, then you can get a student discount on Adobe. I'm lowering the heat, and it is a bit pricey. It's like $20 a month for Premiere Pro. There are other options like Wondershare Filmora. This video is not sponsored, although they've sponsored me before, and I found that to be like a good, very, very, very affordable video editing option that's kind of made for beginners. So I would definitely look into that. I'm only saying that because I've used it. This is not a sponsored bit. And also my biggest piece of advice is to just fucking post something. Even if it's shit and you're like, and you want to put it on unlisted, fine. Just upload it. The more you get used to finishing stuff is the more confident you'll be actually doing stuff. Because I think that's one of the biggest roadblocks is people get scared to finish something and post it because they are perfectionists. They want it to come out really good. And I get that, but it's not gonna be good until you finish it, until you finally put it down and say, I'm done. I gotta post it. And one of the mantras I carry around with me is Done is better than perfect. There you go. There's your guru Gabby for the day. Thank you for asking your questions. Thank you for being a patron. I'm taking the brigadeiro off the heat because look at this. So it's gonna come out like this. It's like gooey and caramelized, as you can see. So this is what we have. I transferred it to a bowl and we're gonna put it in the fridge and let it cool for a few hours. So I'll answer another question before I put it in the fridge. Who's an artist that you like that people might be surprised about? I've talked about some of the music that I listen to on my channels and in my last Q&A, but maybe one I haven't mentioned yet is just how much I love Mika. I grew up listening to Mika and I still love him so much, and it always surprises me at how many people in the United States don't know who he is, because he's legendary to me. Okay, we are back. I have my colder brigadeiro. So here's how it's gonna work. I slather my little fingies with butter, God. And this helps the fudge balls not stick to your hands, okay? You take the spoon, dunk it, take a little chunk, and then you roll it up into a little ball, and then you roll it in your sprinkles. And here is a little brigadeiro. And normally you'd put it in like those little cupcake paper things, but I don't feel like wasting paper, so I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it on the plate. What's your opinion on the current state of commentary channels on YouTube, and how do you see it evolving in the near future? Also, what are some videos or channels you've recently discovered that have piqued your interest? So I am kind of new to the commentary game. If you've been following me, I've been making videos for a while, but my channel only really started to really feel like it's becoming part of the commentary scene in like July, and I made a lot of great friends. It's been awesome. I think the current state of commentary on YouTube, I could write like 10 paragraphs about it, but I think the simplest way to put it is that it's extremely diverse and it's awesome. There's so many different like subcategories of commentary now that, you know, sometimes blends in with video essays, reactionary, and just plain old commentary. How do I see it evolving? I really hope that it stays having so much of a variety in content. I don't really know. I'm not fucking... I can't predict the future, come on. What are some videos or... Fuck, I can't read this shit. What are some videos or channels you've recently discovered that have piqued your interest? There's this one dude that's building Breath of the Wild in Minecraft, like the entire map. I think a wildly underrated channel, and someone who is my friend is Andy King. You guys should check him out. He's making some hilarious shit, and we have some collabs on my channel and his, so you should watch it. Another channel I've been binging is Marcel Voss. He does Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 content, like exclusively. God, these are such cute little balls. I'll put a bunch of other smaller channels on the screen now that I've been watching, and hopefully that'll give you some direction to go check those creators out. What's one thing that's changed from 100K to 200K subscribers that you either like or disliked, or have you not noticed a change at all? I don't know, it's happened so fast. I don't really go anywhere, so in terms of being recognized, I don't really know. Overall, so good. I think probably the biggest change is that I used to read like all the comments, and then I started noticing that that's not good for my mental health. I ran out of sprinkles. I don't know what to do. There's 6 chocolate sprinkles that I'm actually kind of out of, but ignore that. I'll let future Gabby worry about that. How do you deal with internet hate, and what's the funniest mean comment you've read so far? Most of the hate is directed into my comments, and my solution to that is I don't really read a lot of comments anymore. I'm sorry. I do see a lot of the great ones. I'll see some when I look at YouTube Studio because it shoves it in your face. But other than that, I just don't really take it personally. The funniest mean comment is probably this one where someone said they'd rather look at Gordon Ramsay's ass than my face because I'm so ugly. That's probably a top 10 comment for me. How did you find content to make videos on when you were starting out? Using content that other creators have used feels like cheating, at least starting out. I mean, that's a valid concern. The stuff that I made videos about were kind of things that I thought in my personal life, like video games are good for your mental health, or I don't like TikTok that much. As long as you are adding your own personal twist to it. At least me personally, I don't really give a shit if someone else makes a video on the same thing that I do. You know, if anything, that's fine. Our videos will piggyback off of each other because one will get recommended on the others because they're related topics. So if their video does well on it and my video gets caught in their suggested feed, cool, I don't care. Sometimes people can take that a little too seriously, but as long as you're not just outright copying people, I don't really see it as a big deal. If you want to avoid that though, you can do something called the yoink and twist, which I learned from Ludwig, thanks. It's basically when you take another creator's idea and you say, how can I do that, but different? And how can I add my own twist on it? So what if I did this, but added stuff to it? So a recent example of this is my bad comedy specials video. Essentially, I saw a lot of people making videos on Brendan Schwab, and I think I saw a video or two with Jim Brewer, my favorite guy. And I was like, what if I took those concepts and put it into one? What do they all have in common? They're all shitty bad comedy specials. So I took that concept and just threw them into one thing. So it's different from everyone else's, but it's also derivative in a way where it'll probably get suggested onto other people's videos and it would help me grow. And it's fun to make, okay? So there's like a list of these things. Is it 1, would it be fun for me to make? 2, is it at least somewhat original for me to do? Like, I'm not the most fucking original content creator on the platform, okay? Everything is derivative of something, and honestly, that's okay. And 3, will it help me grow? That's probably the least important one. It might have been more important when I was a smaller creator trying to grow. I placed a lot more importance on that 3rd one, but me now, I'm really lucky to be in a spot where I can be like, I want this one to be a passion video. And I did that while I was growing too, but I think I'm maybe doing that more, where I'm just like, I don't really care, this is a passion project. I don't really care if it's something that's already trending in the algorithm, because I have a big enough platform now where if I put out something, it'll probably, I don't know, you guys will fucking watch it, I guess. All right, I need to de-butter my fingers. It's Butterfingers. Have you ever been in a love triangle? No. Maybe one that I didn't know about. What about the Bermuda Triangle? Also no. Hey Gabby. Hi Oliver. As a fellow singer-songwriter with a poetry background, I've found that my writing process usually begins with a word, phrase, or line which I then build upon. When you write songs, what's your process like? Do you begin with words or a melody? Also, do you co-write? Ooh. Everyone's gonna say that it probably depends on the song. I think usually I begin with words and a melody. I think maybe the melody comes first and then I'll have like a phrase that fits it and I'm like, I gotta write that. And then I write the whole thing around it. Obviously, Plastic Love was a little different because I wrote that in a structured class, but it kind of just happens. Also, no, I don't really co-write. I get really embarrassed. I can't like write in front of other people. I'll be like, hey, look at this line. Isn't it not cringy at all? How did you find out about YouTube? And when did you start getting the desire to make videos? I've been making videos since like 2012 probably. They were like music covers. So I was learning how to edit on like Sony Vegas when I was like 14. And I started really making videos over the pandemic because I was jobless and I just graduated college and I had to change careers because I was freelance and I couldn't go out and do the freelance anymore. And I was like, making videos is fun. I like video games. And so I was streaming on Twitch and making videos and it was really fun. But then I found out that commentary is also really fun because I just get to talk. And that's when I started watching like Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez and stuff. So I kind of found them and I was like, this is fun. I want to make that too. Gaming was fun, but it was really hard to grow in it. Why is hollow the best Discord emoji? If you didn't know, this is my favorite emoji. You're welcome. What game have you been playing the most recently? Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. If you have Roller Coaster Tycoon, make sure you download OpenRCT 2. It's a free mod with a lot of quality of life improvements, and it's great. How do you start writing lyrics? I'm interested to try, but I have no clue where to start. Sometimes you'll just think of something. The worst advice. You know when you make up arguments in your head? Like, it's shit like that, and you're like, and you say something like really cool. Like, you're like, you thought you were selfless, but really you were the selfish one all along. Boom. There's a bar. It's stuff that people say. Stuff that people say can be lyrics. Music is like a poem. Just put shit down paper. Even if you just brain dump, like straight up just brain dump. I'm not even kidding. Like take out either a notepad or even a Word document and just start writing your thoughts. Especially if you have ADHD, this is a great way to empty your brain. And you might write something and you're like, huh, that sounds like a melody. You're so cheesy like pizza. And you're like, that's a chorus. That's a chorus. And then you can be like, you're so cheesy like pizza. I wish I never meet ya. Dude, if people can make the 10-9-8-7-6, he's a 10, but he's still. If people can write that shit, you can write anything, okay? Just take something that people say and just make it a thing. Just make it a song. Just do it. Just write a song. It's the easiest advice I can ever give. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to my 200,000 subscriber special. We made a total of 6 brigadeiros and one that is skinless. It's been circumcised. And I still have a shit ton left. So this is yet again another semi-failed baking experiment. I think it's getting better though. I really think I'm getting better at this. So 300K up next. If you want to ask me questions in the next milestone Q&A video, you can join my Patreon for as low as $1 a month, where you can ask me almost anything. No, don't ask me weird shit. Just, you can ask me you can